women's standards are celebrated, men's standards are discriminated or
Sure.
made fun of, right? So like if a guy says, I don't want a promiscuous woman, I don't want a girl that's fat, I don't want a girl that's rude, that's annoying, that's crass, that's considered insecure. But if a girl says, I want a man that's taller than me, makes more money than me, successful, ambitious, you go, girl, you know your worth.
You go, queen.
The problem is that male boundaries are disrespected. Female boundaries are totally respected and encouraged. And even if a girl doesn't, let's say a girl's fat, obnoxious, and rude, and quite frankly doesn't deserve the caliber of man that she thinks she deserves, society will still prop her up and tell her, you deserve that multimillionaire 6'3" guy,
But-
even though you're ugly.
But let's just say that is what's wrong with that?
With what?
If she feels like she's entitled to that, what does that do? What negative outcome does that have?
Well, the problem with that is that number one, she feels entitled when she hasn't earned it. And then number two is that sets her up for long-term failure, because the reason why so many girls are perpetually single is because they overestimate their sexual market value. And what I mean by sexual market value is their looks. They think they qualify for a guy that's an 8 or a 9, top tier guy, when they're a 5. And the reason why they think that is because they might have matched with one of these guys on Tinder, they might have slept with one of these guys on a drunken hookup, or they might have went out on a coffee date with one. But the reality is you were able to attract that guy, but can you retain that guy? And that's where many modern day women fail. They're not able to retain these caliber men. They can just get social, sexual situation with them and nothing else. But then they think, okay, I deserve this caliber of guy, I'm not settling. Or if they do settle, they treat the guy that's actually on their level very poorly because they think they deserve more. So this delusion ends up not only affecting their ability to find a guy, but ends up hurting the guy that ends up settling
But then
with
I
this
feel
chick.
like it's 50% fault for both sides. It's also the guy's fault
It is.
for not setting boundaries. and
Yes.
for accepting that.
But it goes back to what I said. Men don't set boundaries because they're shamed for doing so.
Demonized for doing.
If I can get canceled for saying a girl is fat and rude, I can literally, they'll be like, oh, taking this down off TikTok. That's hate
Misogynist.
speech. That's misogynistic. But if a girl says small dick energy, I'm not dating a short guy, completely, no one bats an eye. Men can't have standards, but women can.
It's pushing the algo.
yeah. I mean, I'm a short guy.
Yeah.
And I understand that I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, of course.
But my thought is that, out of 7 billion people, there's enough of a percentage that would be into what I have to offer.
For sure.
So-
And obviously you've been able to amplify that by, creating a great platform, making yourself very financially successful, etc. But the point I'm trying to make is that a girl can go on the internet and make fun of you for being short and say you're a loser and you have small dick energy. But if you went ahead and you said, well, you're a fat bitch, you're going to get canceled.
But I feel like guys say that all the time online. I
They
mean,
get
I feel-
canceled.
No, but depends on who we're talking. If we're talking about
Yeah.
random people online, I feel like they already say that.
And here's the other thing. A girl can make fun of a guy for being short. He can't control that, right? But if a dude makes fun of a girl for being fat, she can absolutely control that. But we sit here and say, love your curves. You go, girl, queen. But if a guy is short, well, small dick energy short. You can't control that.
I don't know. I feel like you almost have an advantage now being short because you could really exemplify other qualities and people look at you a
For
little
sure.
bit differently. So I feel like you could always play to his strength.
My
you're very
point-
optimistic.
Yeah, you're
Which I
optimistic.
love.
Yeah.
But most guys, it's just
And
tough,
here's the
bro.
other thing too. Like what I'm basically trying to demonstrate here is that female standards are always celebrated. Male standards are always disrespected and looked at as discrimination.
Why do you feel like it's that way?
Well, men can't speak openly about what they want. Like you said before, men need to have boundaries, right?
Sure.
What I'm saying is that the reason why so many men don't have boundaries is because it's politically incorrect and socially unacceptable for men to have boundaries. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
If I tell guys, yo, you have a girlfriend, she needs to respect you, she shouldn't be at the club, shaking booty and hanging out with her girlfriends and going to Miami for girls trips, they'll sit there and tell me that I'm insecure. They'll say, oh, what's wrong with you? What are you so insecure about? No, it's just common respect that you have a man at home. Why are you putting yourself in precarious situations that could hurt the relationship, right? But on the other end, right, like girls are totally, like if a girl says, I want this caliber of man, I want this, whatever, even if she doesn't qualify for it, society will prop her up and tell her, you deserve that man. Like no one ever tells women no, but we definitely tell men no.
So at what point, though, does trust factor into that? Like, let's say her friend's getting married, or I don't know, her friend's celebrating a birthday. There's 15 of her friends going out. She wants to join.
Yeah.
At what point does trust play into that? Where it's like, you don't want to tell them, no, don't go and hang out with your friends because you're going to a club. I mean, to me, that just seems like a little.
Well, I say you can't control a girl. You
Right.
obviously can't do that. You're not going to tell her, you're going to stay inside. The only thing you could control is what you do and how you respond. You want to go? Cool. You're single when you come back.
But there's got to be a line here, right?
Like,
but
no, that's not manipulation at all.
But let's
That's
just
having
say,
boundaries and not
let's just
acting
say
on
that
it.
example.
Well, hold on.
Hold on. Let me give my example.
Sure,
okay?
go ahead.
1 year relationship. She's going out with her friends, celebrating a birthday party. It's a
Sure.
girl thing. 15 girls are going to be there. She's known them forever. You would tell her, no, you can't go to that because you're going to a club.
I would tell her, you can go and do whatever you do, but you will be single when you return.
But why? Why would
Because-
that make sense to throw out a relationship like that otherwise is good?
Because if she respects you, she wouldn't have went in the first place.
But that seems like more like an ultimatum that you're placing on
It's
her.
not an ultimatum. She has a choice to make.
Okay,
But that's an ultimatum.
No, it's like no. It's, she could do it. She's completely free to do whatever she wants. Because the thing is that she's putting the relationship in a risky situation.
Why? Why would she be? Don't you?
Would,
and again,
would
why-
you
what-
trust her?
Because let's be honest
Yeah.
here.
Do you know
What are
what
nightclubs for?
Well, here's the thing. So I will say in general.
Oh,
Okay. All right. I will say in general.
Yeah.
Nightclubs are for meeting other people, for
Okay.
flirting, all that sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
get that. But I've also seen just as many innocent encounters where women want to go to both dance with their friends, have a great time, and I don't see the issue with that. I think it really depends on the context.
I think it depends on the context as well. Like if it's all of her friends and they're like, hey, it's, so and so's birthday, you should come, and it's a really close friend of theirs birthday. It's like, you're not going to tell oh, sure, it's not an ultimatum, but effectively it is, right? You can't set that on your, well, I suppose you could, right? On your girl though, and expect that, like, I don't know. It's her friends, right? Unless if she was leading the charge and she was like, everyone, let's go to the nightclub, and she invites all of her friends, but she doesn't invite you. That might be a little bit different. But you have to have some compassion for her, because you also understand that she has a duty or a diligence to her friends in the same way that she does to you.
Remember we mentioned earlier, right, about there being bad people in the world, right? And you don't really know who the person is, like being bad. So, for example, in that environment, there's bad people. Now, she might be an angel. She might be perfect. Or her friends may be like, yo, LaQuisha, don't worry about your man at home. Just have fun tonight. We're all lit. We're all drunk. And that one encounter of that one bad friend could spoil the whole group. I'm just saying the environment there can be tainted. Now, is it going to happen? Who knows? We're just saying, if you have a man at home, why even put yourself in that situation? Why?
It's not a good look. Like, you're going to be in an area where there's a bunch of thirsty men offering your girl liquor, trying to dance with her, and it puts the girl in a bad position. Here's the other thing too. She could get drunk and something could happen, and then next thing you know, bam, like she's for a kiss another dude or hooking up with another
girls
dude.
get drunk in Miami, have boyfriends, and we're like, yo, boyfriend, we didn't even know. It's like, yo, legit.
Bro.
And funny, bachelorette parties, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come to
It's
Miami, it's
crazy.
a bunch of girls. Oh, they're just chilling by themselves. Before you know it, there's a gang of guys in their room, and I'm just saying, bro, things happen. So don't be dumb about it. Be smart about
Well, here's the thing. I refuse to give a woman the comfort of security with me as her boyfriend while she can simultaneously and behave as though she's single. I have boundaries and standards, and this is what it comes with it. Because the thing is that if a girl truly respects you, she's not going to want to go to the club. She's not going to want to be around her friends that want to go ahead and do all this extra stuff.
Single life.
Yeah, like she's not going to want to behave like she's single when she's with a man that she actually admires and respects. And my thing is, if she wants to go to the club, that's cool. But you no longer are in a relationship with me, because I'm not going to look stupid sitting at home while you go out and behave like you're single.
This is the first point I actually would say I have a pretty strong disagreement to.
Fair enough.
Look, if you trust your partner and you trust their friends, because also it's your due diligence as your partner's partner to get to know her friends and to understand who she likes hanging out with, because she probably wants that too. And if you can trust everybody and they're all going out to the club and she wants to have a good time, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. But if you set this, not ultimatum, but if you make this apparent in the beginning, this boundary apparent in the beginning of the relationship, such as, hey, if we're dating, I don't want you going to the club. It makes me uncomfortable. Would you do me the respect of not going to the club? I think that's fine, because that's just a preference at that point, right? And I think all preferences are probably okay.
You ever been to a club?
Yeah.
What happens at a club?
People dance,
What else?
drink,
What does that lead to?
dancing and drinking.
Sex.
That is one of the potential outcomes, but that's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not like you just go to
So here's the thing.
I didn't.
Here's I think this is where the disconnect is.
Drink and dance and do that.
This is where the disconnect is. The disconnect is this. I think you guys grossly underestimate like how easy it is for women to get sex. And since it's easy for women to get sex, the threshold for them to cheat is also easier as well. It's a sliding scale that works together. Like for men, it's very difficult to get sex.
That doesn't mean they always want sex, though, because it's always available. It doesn't mean they're going to take it.
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
I look at it. If your girl is out dressed provocatively and seeking attention, that is cheating. And some people might look at me like, whoa, what do you mean? It's because men and women are different. People hate this, but the reality is there is a double standard. Men and women are not the same. There's behaviors that are completely unacceptable for women, and there's behaviors that are completely unacceptable for men. And that's okay. And my thing is that women get mad at double standards that don't benefit them. That's where they complain about. I look at it, if you're in a relationship with a man, you like that man, etc., and he tells you, hey, these are my boundaries, and you want to go out to the club with your girls and behave like you're single, cool. You are effectively single at that point, and that man reserves the right to walk away from you. And I think he should, because as a self-respecting man that's providing a relationship and security to that woman, it's extremely disrespectful for her to put herself in a precarious situation to the relationship.
But who's to say she can't also provide her own security? Like, she can't also have a job, have her own money, and...
Okay, that sounds great on paper,
right?
But so does communism. Here's the problem: when women,
okay,
let me explain.
All right,
it's just like because we're getting into the feminism topic.
All right,
women, even when they make their own money and can provide their own security, they still want a man that makes, on average, about 56% more than they do. Women don't seek their equals most of the time. Bare minimum, they seek their equal. They want men that are better than them in almost every regard: height, income, strength, competence, confidence. All these things, because women look for security long term. Men don't care about these things. So if a girl is able to create her own security, that's great.
Cool.
But that's not something that men really care about.
I do want to bring it back to this club discussion. We
Sure.
should revisit that.
Sure.
Do you think that it could be rooted in some form of insecurity, not allowing your girl to go to the club? Because for me personally,
Yeah.
if I was dating a girl and I truly I believed her and I thought that there was trust between us, I really couldn't care less. As long as she's safe and I know that she will be physically safe, she can go and do as she pleases.
You ever seen your girlfriend's phone or a girl's phone?
No.
Take a look. just one day, just pick it up one day. Be like, you know what? I love you, baby. Can I see your phone real quick? I guarantee you, bro. You can look. I'm just saying, right, bro? Like, people you can trust to a certain extent, but environments you can't trust because, for example, it might not be her. It could be her friend. It could be somebody else.
Yeah.
It could be, for example, her ideal type of guy. Oh my God, that's like Des Bryant. You don't know who's in there. It's like, why be in that scenario when you don't know what's gonna happen? And like,
but I feel like that's life, though. It's like every scenario, you don't know what's gonna happen.
No, but
I don't think that I need control over every single aspect of my life.
It's about mitigating risk, though.
But the thing is, the risk is already so mitigated. And on top of that, there's a risk of just thinking someone else's life is kind of your own when you put this ultimatum on them.
Oh, and by the way, you guys, this clip is sponsored by Fizz. They're giving you a free $10 when you sign up. They're a debit card that also helps build your credit. So if you're interested in doing that, the link is down below to get started. The first 1,000 people get $10, so enjoy.